Hello, welcome to a simple demonstration. Today we're going to go through one of the handouts of running some of the command line SQLite commands. And this is just a flat text file. It's kind of easy because you can sort of cut and paste everything, so it's not too bad. So here we are in my Python Anywhere. I'm going to start a bash console. And I'm going to do this whole thing. I've got my Django stuff here. Hang on, let me line this up a little better so you can see it. There we go. So here's my Django. I'm in my home directory. I'm going to remove, because I did this before, zip SQLite. And so we're just going to do this on a silly file. I'm not going to go into any of my Django projects or anything like that. I'm just going to make a file to use SQLite. So the command to start SQLite is a command line SQLite 3 if it's installed on your system. And this is going to do all the database storage in a file named zip.sqlite3. So now we're in the command line. And you can look up, I've got some documentation on the different things. There are several kinds of command line. One is to show the output in column form for the select statement, so we'll turn that on. Now this is our first SQL statement. We're going to create a table with users. This ID long string, that assigns a unique increasing number to every row that we put in, and the name and email are just columns that have text. Okay. And so if we are successful, this is a continuation because we didn't put this semicolon, so it keeps on going. And so now we can ask .tables, and we see that we have a single table. We can ask what the shape of that, which is just going to echo. And we can ask what shape that is. Now let's do some simple. So the insert statement in SQL, basically insert into, it's a keyword. Users is the name of a table in our database. Name, email are the column names, and then values, there's a one-to-one correspondence between like Chuck and name and c7@umich.edu and email. And so I have a number of different insert statements. SQL statements in this command line end with a semicolon. And so that added a row. We can take a look with this select statement at what we've got. So we see one row, it assigned it a key. That's the ID, that's the name, and that's the email. Now I can paste a bunch of these things in at the same time, save us a little bit of time. Zoom, zoom, hit enter, and I can up arrow to go back to the select star from users. So now we see these are the folks that were inserted. We got 6 rows, and then the delete statement, delete from. So SQL sometimes has what seems like redundant things in it's a bit more of a wordy language. It could say delete users, but it's like delete from users rolls better off the tongue. So this is a table, and then where is a part. You'll see where clauses on all kinds of SQL statements. And if you said delete from users, it would actually delete all the records. Maybe I'll do that right down here at the bottom. But I'm going to say I want to go in and delete the record where this is true. Now there might be more than one record. This currently happens to be only one record that has this. I better grab that semicolon. And so it's going to change that. So I'll delete one record. So that Ted is gone. 3, 4. Oh wait, no, we put Ted in twice and it got rid of both of them. I wonder if there was a mistake there. Yeah, I probably need to edit this file. Maybe when you look at this file, it won't be there. Oh, that's not. Maybe I'll leave it there. That's pretty cool. Now here's another thing. So this deleted 2 users. If I run it again, it's not really an error. If I see there's nothing deleted, because I expressed a thing. This is a thing about SQL. When I said delete all the records from users where this is true, and there were none for which it was true, that's just fine. I could say, where email equals that at blat.that. You'd think that might be an error, but this never was true. This where was never true. So it looked through all the records that were in the table, and it was never true, so nothing got deleted. So that's the delete statement. Now the upper lowercase stuff, yeah, I'm just kind of, I like the uppercase. I like to put all my keywords in uppercase, and then tables. Sometimes I don't do upper lower, but I tend to use the keyword. So update says to update the table users. Set is we're going to make a change in there. Column name equals new value and a where clause. And again, if this where clause wasn't there, it would apply to all of them. So this is going to only set the name to Charles in one place. And now if I do a select, you see that this record here got changed there. So you can reach in with a where clause and update a single comment with an update statement. You can put a where clause on a select, so you only see a single row. So you only see that row. You can add to a select an order by a column, and that column could be in ascending order, ascending, going up, and then do the same thing, select star from users, order by name, descending. So that's going to go descending, Sally, Kristen, Colleen, Charles. Down they go. So that's it. Now, we can drop table users, and so this is basically the CRUD. Insert, CRUD is create, read, update, delete. Here it would be insert, select, update, delete. So, but CRUD is sort of kind of the classic concept. So we can drop this table users, but how about I do this? Let me show you. So let me show you this. What happens if I say update users set name equals Charles? Implied in each one of these SQL statements is it applies to all of them. So this, we got all these records. Update users set name equals Charles without a where clause. And then I say select star from users. Now you think, oh, that it did exactly what we told us. We didn't say where clause, right? You know, that means all the records are affected. So this update users sort of implies all of the records. Now this, if we say delete from users and then don't put a where clause there, you're going to see what happens. Delete from users, no where clause, implied all of the rows. And now I do a select and there is nothing. So that's why these where clauses are so important on like updates and deletes, just so that we know what rows they're supposed to apply to, because by default they apply to all rows. That's why you don't see loops in SQL, because every statement, like the update, the select, and the delete, they're kind of loops automatically, and you have to sort of shut them down with an if statement, as it were, which is that where clause. And the last thing we can get is we can just get rid of the table. That's another SQL statement. If we look at dot tables, we see we have one, and then we say drop table users, put a semicolon there, and then say dot tables, and there are no tables left. And then I say dot quit. And now I've got this file called zip.sqlite3, and I can get rid of it without hardening. This isn't a database that's running with a server or anything makes any difference. So I hope this is useful to you. This is a great way for you to sort of look around. We look for tables, we do selects, we figure out what's going on. We can sometimes debug our code by looking at our databases at a very low level. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Cheers.